And welcome to the 570 Party Pod, where we showcase awesome people in the wrestling industry in shorter form podcasts for people with short attention spans like Lindsay. Oh, Lindsay, I can never point the finger in the right direction, like me and most of the world. So as you're listening, make sure you click like, let the algorithms know you want more, and let the algorithms know that you love our guests as much as we do. So to start out, I introduce the world listening to the 570 Party Pod to JD Inc.
Yay, welcome.
How's it going, guys? Thank you for having me on tonight.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You've been so incredibly busy lately. So I know this takes out some time from your day, so we appreciate this more than you know.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. I definitely have been busy lately, but anytime I can talk to people and shed light on the journey I've been on, I would appreciate doing so. Hopefully it can help someone else who's on the same path.
I agree.
Yeah. And they say life's a journey, not a destination. And that's the best part sometimes the most difficult part. But JD, how about you introduce yourself to the internet?
Yeah, of course. So I am JD Inc. I've been wrestling for about a year and a half now. I started training at East Coast Professional Wrestling in New Jersey. Then I started training at Battlefield Pro Wrestling as well. And then most recently, I just finished Nightmare Factory Camp 15. My training has taken me on such an incredible journey. It's been bringing me on huge ups and downs, and it actually even brought me to AEW Dynamite recently.
It sure did. We were so excited about that. Congratulations. That is incredible, especially since your wrestling journey has been shorter than most who have been seen recently on live TV. So that's amazing. Kudos to you. Congratulations on that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it was
you're putting in that work.
It was a surprise that I got there. But the big thing to me that I want to talk about today is rather than talking about all the things I want to do in wrestling and the things that I think I can do one day, I would much rather talk about, like you said, because this journey has been so quick for me, what wrestling has done for me and how wrestling's been helping me cope with some of my personal struggles and how much it's really just done for me the last year and a half.
And that's very big of what we want to do with our podcast. We want to shed light on real life, backstage, everyday life, what's happening to you, what's happening to others, and kind of give a perspective that people don't realize what may be happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the big thing, what wrestling's really brought to me is a sense of, I almost want to call it like willpower to push myself further in life, because I don't know if you guys know this. You guys know this. I don't know if everyone knows this, but I've been a math teacher for the last 5 years.
I was doing math homework right before this, so I want to say to you, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm very bad at math.
Well, here's a stupid dad joke for you. Did it all add up?
So you know what? I think actually everything did add up the way it was supposed to. I just had to weather a couple storms here and there to experience things I think I needed to experience.
Absolutely. Did you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, of course. Most wrestlers, most people when they get into wanting to be a pro wrestler, they get the same thing from everyone. This is never going to work. It's not reality, blah, 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 blah. So I listened to that. I said, all right, if I can't do this, then I went to college, got my degrees, and I became a teacher. And I loved the actual teaching, but there was still a part of me that just felt empty because I was on a path that I didn't necessarily choose.
Right. It wasn't where your passion actually lied.
Yeah. I just always wanted to wrestle. That's all I wanted to do. I thought those are my superheroes growing up. So I wanted to be just like them. But then as I got onto I stayed in the education route, I started feeling like a part of the inside of me almost just like turning off, like my joy was just turning off. And then in and out of counseling, in and out of hospital visits, medication changes, trying to just bring my smile back as I got older and going through this education route. Everyone would tell me, "Oh, the next teaching job, you need a better job here, a better job there." And then I got my dream teaching job. And I will say that it was much better, but there was still something missing. So I finally took that leap of faith on April 1st, 2023. And the day I started training, within a week, I was weaning off of my anxiety and antidepressant medication. Within 2 months, I was off of it completely. I no longer had scheduled counseling appointments. I make them as I feel I need an appointment. So I might talk to my counselor 2 times in 2 weeks. I might not talk to him for 2 months now, because my therapy is wrestling now. 100%. If I can go train, that's going to make my day so much better.
I am so grateful, one, that you are now in the wrestling community. You bring such a light. I don't think you realize the energy that you bring, even when you had an injury and you couldn't wrestle. Just the light that you had being there and being around everybody in that community was incredible. So I thank you for that. And two, most importantly, I want to thank you for bringing awareness to mental health and following and listening to your body and knowing what people were telling you wasn't right, that you needed to do something more for yourself. So thank you for bringing awareness to that.
Yeah, my biggest thing when I was talking to my students about how I was going to be missing some time from the classroom, because I'm taking the next year off of teaching to pursue this with everything I have. When I was telling my students why I'm doing this, how can I, as a teacher, try to inspire my students to chase their dreams if I never did it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will hide that and just say, this was my dream. Yeah. But then these kids are looking at you like, I don't know, is really teaching math really a dream for you, bro?
Yeah. Well, and they would make those comments. They would be like, "Oh, what made you wake up one day and say, I'm going to teach calculus for the next 40 years?"
Oh, calculus. Yeah, definitely. That's a rough one.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and I've heard this phrase numerous times since Lindsay and I got back into wrestling recently. It's pro wrestling is magic, right? There's healing properties. There's so much that it offers you, like it offers your soul. And nobody would think that. Everybody's like, oh, it's just, somebody clotheslining somebody over a top rope. How could that be? And I don't think anybody would understand it unless you're in it, right? And I think you when you dove in head first and decided, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to follow my dreams, like your soul felt that magic, your soul felt that connection.
Absolutely. What we do is art. Some people like to express their art in a painting. Some people like to express their art in music. We express our art in the ring.
100%.
I often get a little frustrated because some people make the comment that wrestlers aren't athletes. But if we can go in there and we can see gymnastic routines and know that they're athletes, we're doing the same thing. We're putting on a choreographed routine. Absolutely. And we improvise a lot more in our stuff than what a lot of other, people think we go out there and we know what we're doing. We're feeling the crowd. I need that energy to tell me what they want.
Exactly.
If we go out there and I know exactly what I'm going to do from bell to bell, how am I giving that specific crowd something different from the last town I was in?
Absolutely. Right. And then even people who are in gymnastics or a lot of other sports, cheerleading, for example, they get a long time to practice for a certain moment. Most of the athletes in our field get a few hours that day right before they go out. Some people get 15 minutes because they're traveling from out of state. They may get stuck in traffic. So they get there 15 minutes before their bell rings. So these athletes that do the magic that y'all do is completely different because it's not scripted for months or years in advance either. And I'd like to see a football player get in there and try and run those ropes. They'd be gassed in less than a minute. This is not something to laugh at. You really need to have a lot of athleticism in this sport.
Yeah, and I think as in most athletics, like I was saying earlier, like a football player's therapy is football. They have a bad day, they're going to watch football, they're going to play football. Right. And that's exactly my life now is bad day, where's the ring? I need to get to the ring. I need to go run the ropes. I need to do something.
That's perfect. So in an event that you don't have an opportunity to get into a ring and you're feeling down, do you have any other routines or anything else to help pick you up in those moments?
Oh, absolutely. I cut promos.
Awesome. Yeah. And promos is something that most people hate.
I kid you not when I say that I'm obsessed with wrestling. Yes. It's all I think about. I've almost started like trying to turn off real life because I want this so much. I want the world to know how much I want this, and it's all I think about. So if I can't get to the ring, now I'll just start practicing my promo skills. Maybe I'll start getting new gear designed. I'll come up with gear concepts. But whenever I need that deep breath and that step back to de-escalate myself from whatever is going on, it's something wrestling related for sure.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And you've mentioned how wrestling is art. I agree 100,000%. But so are tattoos, right? And tattoo artists and wrestlers aren't really that much different. We're all very much into being creative and expressing our art, how we express our art. So your name is, of course, JD Ink. I suppose Ink has some references to the tattoos that you have. But give us the backstory. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, so it's actually funny. I'm happy you guys asked that because some people recently on Twitter, after my match on Dynamite, quickly were like, "Oh, JD Ink, how creative," and comments like that, which I kind of chuckled at because I can understand at first glance how people can hear that and say, "Oh, that guy just took his initials and added ink because he has tattoos."
Right.
But that's not at all how this name was derived.
Did anybody ever ask you if you were a tattoo artist first and you that's how you got your name?
I get it all the time. People ask me all the time if I was a tattoo artist or if I am a tattoo artist. I get stopped in like places to like look at my tattoos when I'm walking by. It happened today at Walmart.
That's so cool.
But yeah, I love it. That's why my favorite time of the year is when it's warm out so I can wear shorts and a tank top. But the reason I got so crazy with the tattoos, the main reason I wanted some tattoos one day is because my hero is The Undertaker, who's my favorite wrestler growing up. So I wanted tattoos like The Undertaker. But I was very overweight growing up. I was on all the sports teams, but I was like the worst of the worst when it came to the bench warmers on the teams. I was very... I didn't like the way I looked. So as I got older, if I tattooed a body part that I did not like when I looked in the mirror, now I started to like that body part. And then it just started unraveling when I was like, oh my God, I started falling in love with my body because of the tattoos. So that's why I couldn't stop, because for the first time in my life, probably around like 19, 20, because that's kind of when my legs got filled up, and that was the first part that really were sleeved out. That was when I first loved my body, and I'd never felt that feeling before. So it was a rabbit hole from there. So the more ink I got, the more confident JD became.
That makes so much sense. I love that.
So
and
who is JD Ink in the ring?
Yeah,
how would you describe your character?
JD Ink in the ring is this overly confident guy that believes he's never going to lose. Whether I'm in the ring with somebody who is smaller than me, my size, or 5 times bigger than me, I always believe in myself, and JD Ink is always confident. And that it's this confidence that can sometimes come off as arrogance, But it again comes back to that obsession with being the best. And if I don't believe I am the best, how can I ever be the best? So
absolutely,
that's my whole. That's all the inspiration behind who I am in the ring is. No matter what, I think I can win at all points of a match, even if I am getting my butt kicked. I'm waiting for that moment where I can sneak behind you and get that roll up for 1, 2, 3 and just sneak out of there.
absolutely.
I always
So
believe
then,
I can win.
do you identify then in the ring more as a heel or a face, or does it depend on the circumstance?
So I definitely consider myself a baby face because I'm high energy. I don't put my opponents down.
Right.
I am always looking for the best challenge out there, and I'm looking to earn my wins. I'm never looking to cheat my way by. I'll take a win with a roll-up because a roll-up is a win, and that's
absolutely.
But cheating to win, not so much my thing. Unless you want to cheat against me because an eye for an eye.
And then payback's a bitch.
Yeah.
And some people don't realize the roll-ups, if your competitor is a great grappler on the ground, a roll-up isn't always easy. So sometimes a roll-up is a great win.
Absolutely. I've trained and had people roll me up at training and tell me to kick out, and I just physically could not kick out.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's absolutely people who take those pins that seriously, and you have to fight to get out of some of them. You're putting all your leverage on top of someone's upper thighs and lower back. That's hard to kick out of sometimes.
Absolutely. As someone as myself who's short-statured, you bring on somebody who's tall and weighs double my size, I'm not going anywhere.
No. So you have confident JD Inc. in the ring, right? He's somebody that is going to find a way to win, ample respect for opponents, but wants to get the win. Who's Justin then?
Yeah, so being Justin is something I'm still kind of learning because I never liked him. Like, it's almost weird because as I've grown so much and been working so much on my character as JD, it's hard for me to quite understand who I want Justin to be because I'm turning away from that lifestyle that Justin lived that he wasn't happy in. So I'm still figuring it out a little bit. I can tell you that Justin is someone with an incredible amount of anxiety. I am anxious all the time, but I hide it. I can conceal it really well. Not so long ago, I was running late to a show, and when I start having an anxiety attack, I just get silent. And I can't talk. And my buddy traveling with me is like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I'm just having a panic attack. Just sitting here quietly." And he was like, "That's what a panic attack looks like?" I was like, "Absolutely, this is what it looks like." He's like, "What's going to make it better?" I said, "When I put my gear on and I get in the ring. Right. That's the only thing that's going to make it better right now." And needless to say, we got to the show. I was stressed out until I put my gear on. I put my gear on, and everything was gone. All the worries, everything stressing Justin out was gone because it was JD mode.
Everything's right in the world.
Right. And I think you brought up a very important part about mental health. Not everybody's mental health looks the same. So sometimes when I get my anxiety, because I suffer greatly as well, I just want to sit there. I don't want anybody to talk to me. I just have to let the moment be the moment. And then there are other times I get so anxious, I have to do anything. I have to clean, I have to do dishes. I'm just so out of my head and I want to scream. And for the longest time, J.S. Michaels didn't understand that I can have multiple different waves that come with anxiety. So I think that's a great point for people who are especially in some sort of relationship, whether it's a friendship, a partner, just somebody passing by, to know that if they just say they have anxiety, just go with it and give them the space that they may need, or if they need you close, try and be there too. But don't be afraid to ask them questions or say, "Hey, are you okay?" Because that's key to helping somebody feel more comfortable in that moment.
That was one of the reasons why I was able to, in combination with beginning my wrestling journey, while I was able to somewhat start healing, because I struggled in silence for a very long time. And my friends and family were shocked when I told them, because I always had the biggest smile in the room. So how could this guy be so miserable if he always has the biggest smile?
Yeah.
And after suffering it through a lot of silent mental trauma, I eventually wound up calling my mom and telling her, I was like, Mom, I need help. I'm not on the right path. And she immediately came and got me the help I needed. But then she started asking the questions, like you said. She's like, was I missing signs? I was like, no, you weren't missing anything. I wasn't giving you signs.
And that's very common. I lived with my mother till I was 24, and then I moved in with J.S. Michaels. And still to this day, she does not believe that as a younger human that I was depressed, because I was the same as you. I was very bubbly and bright, wanted to do anything to help anybody else, with a smile always on my face, because I was also hiding it. I felt embarrassed. And the reason that we talk about it now is because we don't want other people to feel embarrassed.
Yes. And the big thing for me too is I wouldn't want my worst enemy to feel the way I felt in the past. Because any of the times that I struggled with thoughts of suicide or anything like that, it was never because I didn't feel like I was loved, which people always think that the only reason you would have a thought like that is because you don't feel loved or wanted.
Right.
I had everything I could want physically. I've been working since I was 14. I've been able to get all the physical things I could want. It was, like I said in the beginning, it was that empty feeling on the inside that you can't replace, especially if you know exactly what is, and I've always known exactly what it was.
Absolutely.
So I never want anyone to feel that way. To have everything you could want and still think that ending it could be worth it is an awful feeling, and I never want anyone to experience that.
No, because some people will tell you, oh, you're looking for a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Not every problem feels temporary. Right. Yeah. And saying that to somebody doesn't make that feeling seem any better, because that emptiness is still there. You have to try and figure a way to love yourself and love who you are by either one, trying new things, like you knew you wanted wrestling. Some people just need to be in different environments. Some people are just chemically imbalanced and they do need that medication as the extra boost to help them say, hey, no, life is going to be okay and I can get through this patch.
Yeah.
Yep. There was actually, so like I would have a really bad I'd have a really bad day or week or period of time in college. And then that's like, as I would start loading up on the tattoos, because at least it'd give me something to love about myself and help me get through whatever thoughts or whatever I was going through.
Yeah.
And in college, I always used to joke that my tattoos hurt so good.
Yes.
Because that release of hormones was therapeutic for me. It actually felt good to get them in the beginning, but now that I'm feeling so happy in life, I joke with my tattoo artist every time. I was like, this is awful. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want any more tattoos, like ever. But like, now I just have to finish the few things that I got left.
Absolutely. And do you want to give a shout out to your tattoo artist?
Absolutely. If anyone's looking to get work by my tattoo artist, his name is Corey Wakeman at Catskill Tattoo Company in Monticello, New York. That's actually where I bill myself from, because JD Inc. is always just usually coming from the tattoo parlor.
Absolutely. And you have some sick work. I especially brought up to you, I think it was last week, the mandala work that you have. Absolutely. His line work is sick, because that's beautiful. A lot of mandala work, artists that don't specialize in it, the lines will blow. And then it's like, oh shit, this looks horrible. So your artist does a great job.
He's almost had to become a geometric mandala artist because of me. His like first couple pieces were on my leg sleeve, And now he's done multiple leg sleeves. He's done back geometric pieces. I'm working on, this is a half geometric sleeve because I have some personal tattoos up here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people always ask me about the blackout, but there's going to be white geometric that's going to come up all over.
Oh, wow.
That'll be so badass.
It's going to be incredible.
I think next week I'm going to look at going to get a white mandala on my shoulder.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool.
Hey, Justin, I just want to say thank you because it's really brave to come into the internet and tell your story, right? And tell your struggles. A lot of people, like to just use the internet to make it look like life is great. And not a lot of people I know, but people out there do that. So it's brave of you to just come forward with your story. So I wanted to ask, what advice do you have for other folks that might be struggling?
Yeah. So my biggest piece of advice and biggest takeaway that I want people to get out of this podcast today is do what you want. Live your life the way you want to live your life. If you want to go and be a custodian, go and be a custodian. Don't let people tell you that that's beneath you. If you want to go be a garbage man, go be a garbage man. If that's what's going to make you smile, go and do it. Who cares? Don't just go into a career for the money and the comfort it comes with. This next year is going to be scary for me. I no longer have a steady salary that I had with teaching. Yeah. I no longer have really good health benefits. I no longer have off of work for holidays and vacations and bad weather. So all these comforting things I'm losing is so worth it. Because wrestling is what makes me smile, what makes me happy. So that's what I want people to take away from this. Go and do what's going to make you happy. Don't go what's just going to pay the bills.
Right.
Why would I spend 40 years of my life struggling with my happiness so that I can retire and start enjoying life at 63, which is when I would be allowed to retire if I remain a high school teacher.
And we don't know how long we naturally have on this earth. So don't miss out on those opportunities that will make you love yourself.
Yeah, I wanna live happy now. I don't want to build now so I can be happy later. I'd rather build and be happy now and continue building and be happy later. I always want to build and I always want to be happy. I don't want to portion my life up.
Yep. So from JD Inc. to the world, follow your heart and wherever your happiness takes you, put that first.
Absolutely.
I love it. And thank you so much for telling your story today. Where can people find you right now in the wrestling world and on social media?
Absolutely. So I'm on Instagram. I know I'm a little behind on getting on all the other social media platforms, but real.jdinc on Instagram. This weekend, I actually have a crazy weekend in Middletown, New York. I have 6 matches this weekend.
Oh, holy shit.
We're doing 3 shows a day, Saturday and Sunday at Dogwood Acre Farms. And the shows are all free with admission to the farm. And it's 12:30, 3 o'clock, and 5:30 shows each day. And then following that, I will be wrestling in Georgia quite a bit. So stay tuned to my social media for posters and dates on that.
I can't wait to see what more comes for you. This year and a half has been so exciting for us to watch you grow into who JD Inc. is, and your sky is limitless. So keep reaching for it. I know you're going to be very successful and you're going to be a very big star.
Thank you so much. And for my last words, grab a drink, don't blink, and enjoy the ink.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you so much, JD Inc. This is the 570 Wrestling Party Pod. That's JD Inc. Follow him everywhere. Follow his career like we are. Thank you so much for joining. Everybody have an awesome day. And thank you, JD and Justin.
Thank you so much.